Hi guys, I'm Sheldene. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's question is, how do you price your art commissions? This is such a difficult question to answer. A lot of people struggle with this. A lot of artists are like, I'm a beginner at this. I have no idea what to charge. I have no idea what I'm capable of. So how can I charge something that is reasonable for what I am able to give other people? So I'm just going to give you guys what I have experienced in the last 2 years. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible because I know this can get very long-winded. But what I will say before I start is, if you actually want the full long in-depth version of this in detail with the math and everything involved, then please see my blog post and you'll be able to see everything there. So I'm just going to give you a brief description of how I got to my prices, but if you want a detailed description, then feel free to see the link from my blog in the description below. So just as to start off this video, in the beginning when I started drawing commissions, all I did before I started drawing commissions was I just did art for fun, and I posted it to my social media, and then I started getting interest where people were like, oh, do you sell your work? Do you do commissions? Can you do this drawing for me and I'll pay you for it? And then you get to a point like, oh yeah, I want to do that, but I don't know how much to charge. So that is the phase where you are going to charge pretty much nothing for your work and you're going to charge that little until you've managed to gain experience and you've managed to gain some sort of portfolio. Because in this time when you're doing all these drawings for really cheap, you are actually learning an incredible amount. You are learning how much time it's going to take you to complete things. You're learning all the ins and outs about the mediums that you use. You're learning what mediums you like to use, what mediums you don't use, what things to improve on, how to improve on it. You're gaining that experience, and in all this time you're also gaining some sort of following because people are watching your work, they're watching you grow, and you are experiencing yourself grow, and you are starting to build on that confidence, and you're starting to grow those abilities. So it's very important lessons that you're learning within that time, and the focus shouldn't be on money at all within this time. It should just be on building your style and building what it is that you love doing and having something to show for it, and building up those statistics so that you know how to use that as you grow better at everything to be able to make future decisions. So pretty much for the first 12 months I did drawings for really cheap, between $10 and $70 pretty much. And like I said, in the description below or in the blog you'll be able to see a breakdown of what those costs are and how I got to them. So that was in the first 12 months. So after 12 months, I decided that I actually want to do this full time, and I do want to make a business out of this, and I want to start creating a following, and I want to start making money, but I don't want to overdo things, so everything still needs to be a gradual process. But what made this a lot easier to establish my prices after 12 months of drawing was that I knew how long things were going to take me to draw depending on what sizes they were. So I took note of how long things would take me so that I could kind of have those as statistics, I guess you can say, to work out hours and to work out a rate as well. I have gained experience, I gained confidence, I gained a very good understanding of the mediums that I like to use and how to use them. I created and expanded my following, and I was ready to start my business. So I created a website, I established myself as an artist and as a business, and I decided, okay, now I'm at the point where my prices are worth going up, but how I'm going to figure out what to charge now. I'm an established business and I feel like I am a much better artist than what I was. People are showing interest in my work and my work is worth selling. So how much am I going to charge now? So what I did is, by keeping all those hours statistically, or keeping all those figures, I created a hourly rate. So what I did is I decided that my hourly rate was going to be $8 an hour, and what do I spend on average on what size drawing. So for example, for a 5 by 7 inch drawing, I spend between 10 and 15 hours to draw something that size. So the median of 10 and 15 is 12.5. So all I went was 12.5 times my $8 per hour rate equals $100, and that was what I was going to charge for that size drawing as a fixed price. People want to see a fixed price because it's something that they can quickly see and they can quickly decide whether they can afford it or not. So nobody likes to beat around the bush and try and get a quote and try and get all these different costs. They'd rather go and look for something where cost is already there so they know what to work with and try and figure out if this is what they want to go ahead and do. So I did that for 5 months. I set my price at $8 per hour, and then after 5 months I managed to get bookings for pretty much the rest of 2015. So I booked commissions in, I created a calendar, I booked people into their spots because I knew how long things would take me roughly, and I was able to schedule them in. And because I got the bookings up to pretty much the end of the year, I was like, okay, I am ready to put my prices up again because the interest is there, people are showing that they're willing to pay for this. So I think it's worth me putting my prices up again. So in May 2015 this year, I put my prices up again, and this was on average about $12 an hour. And that's how I got to the prices that I still have right now, and I'll probably still keep those prices for a while because I know that that's what people are willing to pay, and for the moment I can keep up with that. And as I start growing or getting published or start getting myself out there a bit more, I'll eventually start putting my prices up again. So that is a very quick and rough rundown. I know that I've been talking in super speed, but that is quite a lot to cover. But go ahead and see my blog post. It breaks it down for you nicely, and it gives you a good understanding of from beginner trying to establish yourself to someone who feels like you understand yourself a bit more and you have more confidence in your work and your abilities, and you know what you can expect from yourself and what others can expect from you, and you've developed your following. So now it's easy for you to go ahead and up your prices when you're ready. You will know at this phase or at this stage in your drawing career how to price your work and how to get to a point that you are happy with what you are receiving in terms of the quality of work that you're producing for your customers. So I really hope that this was useful information. I know it's a very scary thing to talk about or to think about for artists, and just remember, if you look at the famous artists, it takes them years before they get to a point where they can just draw a piece and put it on a wall and put a price tag of 20 grand on there and be like, this is going to be sold in seconds because everybody knows that artist is so famous. That doesn't always happen. So don't expect that to happen. And also, a lot of artists take years and years and years and years until they can get to that point where they can actually put such a heavy price tag on their work. So gradually put your prices up as you get better, as you grow, as you gain confidence, as you look at your abilities, and as you find yourself as an artist. Gradually grow those prices, and when you get to a point where you have got a very big following, you're constantly getting work or commissions, people are constantly buying your stuff, then that's when you put your prices up, because people are still buying, people are showing interest, they're constantly doing it, and then you can gradually up your prices. And if they continue to constantly do that, then gradually up your prices, and that's how you'll build. But it's going to take a long time. And also what you want to do during that time is you want to try and get your work published in different areas, whether they be in magazines or whether they be somehow in the press for events or whatever it is. That's how you're going to build your name, and that's how you're going to get to a point where people are going to start paying for your art, paying big for your art. But don't expect that to happen very quickly. Sometimes you get that person where it just happens within a couple of months, and we all wish that amazingly that can happen to us. But realistically, most of the time it takes a lot of years and a lot of experience and a lot of effort in building a following and trying to find people to see your work, and especially finding people who are interested in buying your work to see your work is also quite a difficult thing to find. So I thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope that you can take something useful out of it, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!